morning.
Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever in the world you are. This is one chap, and there's another one. My chappy name is Christian, and who are you?
My name is Brett. I've been called worse, but today is a lucky day.
Why is that?
Is lucky? Lucky because this is episode number 8. Or, as our wonderful Chinese colleagues might say, 小小吧. Lucky or 幸运吧. Ba is number 8, means wealth, luckiness, this kind of stuff,
Oh, you came prepared. I love it. This is nice. Yes, lucky number 8. So we wish prosperity and wealth upon all of you.
Yes.
And all of you, including us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're fine. We're as long as it's not just monetary wealth, it is spiritual, family, all that kind of stuff. That is the importance of wealth, right? The rest supports it. Yes,
I would agree. So the economic wealth is a byproduct of your inner Zen, if you will. I'm mixing spirituality philosophies here.
Absolutely.
Hello, everybody. Two Chaps, Many Cultures. Welcome back, everybody. Happy to have you here. Happy to see your lit up faces this morning. Brett, you're in a good mood. I love it. We guys are broadcasting from 2 different locations in case you haven't noticed yet. So we're even in different time zones. So sometimes when we come on, that's the first time we speak on that very day. And today is one of those days. So we're still under the week's umbrella of what? Coaching. Right. Some of you may have gotten an email in your inbox this morning from us that refer to that. So if you're here because of that email, good on you. If you're here because you like us anyway, even better. And I have to share a quick personal story that I didn't prepare Brett for. So I am fighting a battle with myself. I have been in the last couple of weeks with the COVID craziness. And the battle is with where my attention wants to go. And battle may be a strong word. However, I am coaching myself and allowing people in my close circles, including my family, to help me redirect my attention where it's probably best or where it's better serving me. And I noticed this again last night as I was scrolling through social media, that it seems to be social media, no matter which tool you use, and you're watching us on one of the social media tools, no matter which one you're choosing, it tends to be about scoring points against each other and not so much about having a discourse or an exchange of ideas and thoughts and finding a best way forward. And while I'm all about having a civil discourse or having a conversation with people that I disagree with or that are different from me in order to hopefully learn something from them and broaden my view, I find myself sometimes what's the word of the season? I find myself triggered to respond, right? And the suppressing or suspending that urge to immediately respond, or suspending that urge to have a feeling come up because I disagree with somebody, is a practice that I continuously I practice, that I do, that I practice, that I practice, that it's a continuous practice. And it's not always easy. So that, full disclosure. So last night I lost my marbles because I'm like, ugh. And this was an hour after I had a coaching call with one of my clients. A coaching call with one of my clients who is also not quite sure how to deal with what's going on in his company and in his family and the health situation. So why am I saying this? Because coaching can take many facets. It's the stories you either tell yourself or allow others to tell you, or the not stories, the thought impulses that you allow to to get to you. And sometimes that's why I said it's a battle. Sometimes those thought impulses are not serving me. So that's why one of my favorite coaching questions that I've been getting from my coaches, or that I've been using with coachees, is, so how is this particular behavior serving you? How is it getting you closer to where you want to be? What's one of your favorite coaching questions, Brett? And I'm going to pull this up because I think I prepared it.
Yes, I think you did. Pre-prepared, like the kitchen. We prepared one earlier. Didn't Julia Giles do that? Magically pull it out of the oven. We prepared one earlier.
Well, where did that come from? She said 8 hours in the oven. Now it's done.
Absolutely. Okay, this is very important because coaching for me also involves some self-coaching to get myself motivated, and again reflect on how I'm responding or getting triggered by certain things. I fail at it every day. I'm getting better. I hope I'm getting better. But this is recently I worked with our good friend Yuko de Neuville on catatonic and catabolic responses, responding in those lower levels where it's just through heart and head. You're responding through the framework of victimhood, right? This is triggering me. This is attacking me. This is this is somebody who wants to impose their values and their beliefs on me, right?
Right.
And I'm just as susceptible to that as anybody, right? And I find I do it every day. So yes, there are situations. I'm being challenged now by certain people in certain communities that I should shut my mouth. Good, that's fine. It makes them, what I'm saying makes them uncomfortable. That's fine. Good. It should make you feel uncomfortable. The unlike button, the unfriend button is there. It's fine, right? But I reflected on this last night, and I want to, rather than be condescending, because I wrote a post about this the other day, I can sometimes bring a sarcastic condescension to my approach. That doesn't serve anybody. I've failed people when I've done that. I failed myself when I've done that. So it's not serving me. None of that is serving me. So what I've kind of tried to, now what I'm going to try and do is just get to the point where I'm happy to have these conversations with people directly. I've got people say, and I say, reach out to me directly. Reach out to me directly. Now, the conversation will still be uncomfortable. I will make it uncomfortable for me and them, and that's necessary. But I'm not going to solve their problem. It's not up to me to do that work for them. And this is why, people of color in this current situation, I'm not going to dig into this too much, but this is an example where in this current situation that we're going through now, people are reaching out to people of color. So tell me what to do. Tell me how to be an anti-racist. It's not up to them. It shouldn't be up to them, right? And so we should do our own work. And I challenge the people, that are doing that, just as I'm doing every day. And my mindset is that the way that I think when I look at something and say, is this serving me? After I've written this comment where I think I've been so smart and clever and condescending, it hasn't served me at all. Doesn't make the world any better. Doesn't take the conversation forward. So yes, that is a difficult thing.
You used a word, I think, which is critical in this whole discourse, and it comes up in my coaching practice frequently. You said the word victim, and victim is a charged word, so we might be able to paraphrase it with active and passive. That's what I did with a coaching client yesterday. I asked him point blank, I said, what is it you'd rather be? Would you rather like to have life happen to you passively and feel out of control in every aspect of life that's important to you? Or would you rather take an active role and shape your life in those aspects where you have control over it? You won't have control over every aspect of your life, but would you rather feel like an active shaper of your circumstance or a passive taker of circumstance. And he immediately snapped back and said, no, I want to be active. So then the next question is, once we've established that we as human beings would rather create our fate or rather create our environment rather than be subjected to somebody else's definition of what our life should be. So once we've established that, then the next question is, well, what have you done to do that? What action have you lately taken to create that? And that's a question I have to ask myself too. So what action am I taking? One of the actions that I'm taking is this. One of the actions that Brett and I are taking is, hey, we're here together and we're doing a program, and we think we create value, and we think we raise some interesting questions, and we may ruffle somebody's feathers, and we may answer somebody's questions, whatever it is. We came here without a big agenda. However, we wanted to take action. We wanted to show face and be available for a civil discourse. So that's one of the actions we decided to take. So ask yourself that question. What action are you taking? What action are you taking specifically to shape your circumstance rather than having it happen to you, rather than being a victim? And hi, Janet. Thank you for being on and from Central Florida. I hope the weather is awesome down there. So
it's good in Florida.
By the way, let's bring up that hello from Janet real quick. Janet is working closely with another fellow who's doing a lot of live programs these last couple of weeks. Janet works with Ben Cross, who works in the global mobility arena, and does a lot of LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube lives around, well, the craziness of our times as it pertains to employee relocation. So good to see you, Janet. Say hi to Ben. So what actions are we taking in order to shape our environment? Would you rather be a victim, or would you rather be somebody who creates it? That's one of the questions I typically challenge coachees with once I have built a relationship with them that I feel comfortable, or that I feel comfortable enough to make them uncomfortable with that question.
Yeah. And you've also got to, this is what I'm saying to people, is that I'm coaching you not because I know it all, but because I've learnt it and I've learnt my own responses to it. Doesn't mean you respond in the same way, but it is. Now those 2 levels then go into the next 5 levels that bring a little bit more of a kind of a contemplative approach to it. That is not grounded in victimhood. It's grounded in opportunity. It's grounded in sharing. It's grounded in knowledge and continued knowledge, right? And it's right to the top, where almost it can be antithetical to the process. You can get so aloof that you think you know it all. That you've got to be careful about getting too. Now, I love living in the clouds. I love looking at big ideas. I love taking on big goals and big challenges. But sometimes that can, separate. If I can see something clearly in my own mind, doesn't mean somebody else can. Right.
Right. And wasn't it Socrates who said, "I know that I know nothing," or maybe one of his compatriots. I want to say it was Socrates, but all the Greek philosophy experts will crucify me if I got this wrong. But that's all right. I think it's not, as a coach, it isn't necessarily about how much you personally know about a certain subject matter. It's about how you can lead your coachee to think about their own challenges in a different way. So we tend to be very tunnel visioned. We look at our challenges one way, and we have those blinders on. And what a coach does is essentially change our point of perspective or vantage point. Say, hey, why don't you step over here for 6 feet over here? 6 feet is also now a charged term, right? So step over here a little bit and look at it from a different angle. What do you see now? Does it still look as challenging as it did before, or is it different? So we are the outside impulse giver, not necessarily the ones with the answer. We're the ones who nudge, like as we said on Monday, right? From the athletic comparison, we're the coach, the athletic coach that runs alongside of the athlete at their pace until we nudge them to do something differently. And from that introduction of a different behavior comes a different outcome. And sometimes that outcome is good, sometimes it's not. If it's not, then we assess and course correct. There's no foolproof life formula. I haven't discovered it yet. Neither did Einstein.
No, and understanding, I guess, we always talk about learning your own culture, because we've talked about the quote of understanding our own culture is quite difficult. Our own culture is hidden from us because we just grow up in it. It's embedded in us. And then, so you might come from a culture where you might respond very favorably to the messages. We see them all the time. 3 quick steps to losing weight. 3 quick steps to business success, right? It's a process. It's got it promises fast results. It promises quick fixes. You can come from a culture where you're drawn to that. Other cultures are not drawn to that, because that throws up all kinds of visceral responses to say, well, hang on, that doesn't seem to make sense to me. That nothing is as simple as that, and it never is anyway. But if you understand that how you're responding to these are marketing messages that people use, that as you take on the coach, if you start to assess the skills of a coach, I would just be very careful about people that say, I'm going to fix your problems. I'm here to fix your problems. I'm going to understand you completely. I'm going to do it quickly. I'm going to do it in 3 quick steps. That kind of goes against my culture, but I understand that probably is a visceral response to me culturally.
Well, I think most coaches who are professionally trained coaches or who underwent some sort of licensing and certification process will probably tell you that the word understand is a dangerous one in this context, because by saying I understand, we create the illusion that we are able to see the coachee's challenges through their own eyes, from their vantage point, with their own emotions and thought processes, which, let's be honest, we can't. So I'm careful. I correct myself sometimes when I use the word understand in the wrong context. I don't understand what Brett is feeling, because I am not Brett. So I can relate to that perhaps, and I can appreciate that he feels a certain way. Do I really understand? Questionable. So it's also the choice of words that we have with each other. As I said before on this program, the stories, the words that we tell ourselves, or the stories that we tell ourselves, that matters, right? They shape the way we look at things.
Absolutely.
So lots to unpack here, man, and it's already 19 minutes in. I thought we just started a minute ago.
We've been doing very well, I've been looking at the recordings. We're always kind of like within the 19 to 22 minutes window. It may be too long for some, but we hope that in the middle of this little gap in the morning, the half hour, that we can come on after you've come from that other very important meeting, and then release you before you have to go to that other very important meeting. You can sit there and enjoy a cup of coffee with us. And of course, we also would love your questions and comments. That is important. We're going to take this forward more actively. And so this was a great thank you. Yeah.
And we're also including another good coaching question right here, because it may be leading to the question that you will send us, or the comment that you have. So you can replace the missing here with, what's the one thing you'd like to talk about with us, or what's the one thing that you think we should address here. So be specific. Give us one thing. Don't give us a laundry list. Give us one thing, and we'll pick the best ones and we'll drill into that. All right. With this, I would say, have a wonderful rest of your day, Brett.
Well, thank you, sir. You do the same. And to everybody out there, wonderful again, prosperous, wonderful 8th episode. This one will go. Well, it should be a special one. We should include that as part of it. Number 8. Yes. When I learnt the importance of number 8 to Chinese people, I find myself now looking at things in number 8. You like the number 7. I like the number 8.
Oh, I like all numbers.
Well, all numbers are good. Yes. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.